Good day and welcome back to Elementary 72 Gaming. Now this video is another one in that final build series, and this isn't just any final build. Okay, wait, this is just any final build, but this is one of the best ships for final builds. I'm actually going to be going through the Crucifier. Now this isn't the very best, obviously it's one of the best in terms of its class, but there will be two on the sides of it. So I'm going to go through the Tormentor, the Probe, and then the Crucifier. Each one has a very specific usage, and I'm actually looking forward to finishing off this entire group and then getting to these. These 7 are what the series is really about, and then all of the total mages are coming in with these at the bottom. They're the higher classed vessels, and they really are important to the overall aspect of the game. As you can see, assault frigates, covert ops, stealth bombers. Stealth bombers are one of my favorite. They can really do a lot when it comes to combat. Logistic frigates, and I will show you exactly where they're useful as I go through them when it comes time for them. But right now, let's get back to our two builds. Okay, the Tormentor. The Tormentor is another basic Gamma vessel. It is a armor tanking vessel instead of shield tanking like I've just been throwing at everything else. In these low levels, when it comes to these ships, armor tanking isn't a very good idea. You don't have much room on your armor. It's therefore better to always keep your shield and armor together because most hits will penetrate both. Okay, as you can see, it has a little bit of laser damage. 1343 basic overall defense, 399 meters per second. As you can see, basic power grid for a laser vessel. Not advised, do not use this vessel for combat. Due to it being laser intensive, it means your power grid is never ever stable. You drain your power through it. Same thing with railguns. You'll find me saying that they're not the best in terms of user utility, especially on these low levels. That's because with their small power grids and their small capacitors, you generally drain them exceedingly fast using your weapon firepower. Okay, right, let's head on to the next one, the Probe. As I said, I didn't advise it. The Probe is used for 3 things. It has a bonus to scan resolution, and the bonus to scan resolution really makes a big difference in terms of locking onto targets. At maximum, this one will only give you a 25% boost, but this stops people from being able to run through your blockades in destroyers, and also you could use it to actually pull down an Atron. Now, the reason for that is interceptors are quite fast vessels, but most people won't be giving them those rigs that they require to be able to warp off faster from point to point. So if you go and you actually use the Probe correctly with the right rig set, it can be used for PvP in that manner. Obviously, this is a PvE build, and I just mentioned that for the basics. A lot of people use probes for that particular purpose. As you can see, 2 high slots, 1 mid slot, 2 low slots, no rigging included with this vessel. Right, it has a reduced signature radius, and obviously you're counting on command to give it its power. 459 meters per second. It is a very fast ship. It's also good for carrying a lot of loot. So it is a good looting vessel as well on that side. You can use it to loot, you can use it to move around quickly, but it is not advised because it cannot be rigged, and it is a very easy to destroy ship. That is the overall purpose behind mentioning it for this purpose. I will not be making a build of this ship. It's not advised to use these ships beyond T3. You use them with basic civilian rigs, and you don't really go any further. Here is the main ship of this class, the Crucifier. Now, the Crucifier is one of the ships that have given the most amount of problems to players when they fight in frigate vs frigate tournaments. It's also very useful in PvE because of its faster flying capacities than most of its neighboring ships. Oh wait, no, I think I've got the wrong ship. Yeah, I must probably do have the wrong ship. I think that was the Executor. But nonetheless, it is still a very useful ship in its class. 2 weapons, 2 mid slots, 2 low slots and 2x2 in rigs. This ship is definitely meant for PvP. As you can see, it has disruptor strength bonuses, increased laser damage, and increased laser optimal range. This means that it increases its ability to fight, gives you a little bit more distance, and that gives it a major edge in combat. Now, as you can see, it has a nice big beefy power grid of 50 megawatts. You're going to see exactly what I'll do with weapons. You have to keep some scope on those items. So let's go looking through what we can do. Now, I'm not 100% sure. I'm not the best with lasers. I do make this mistake quite a lot. Sorry about that, just had a call come in. Okay, let's go back to this here. Okay, if I'm correct, this is short range, 13 megawatts. Let's have a look at the other one. Power grid is very important on these small vessels for laser class vessels because they will run into it very quickly to the maximum, and you need to be very careful about not over exceeding that power grid limit. 16 megawatts, and these are beam lasers, 11 by 2.5. Okay, yeah, we're going to be going with the pulses, not the beams. I always make that mistake. I forget which one is which. I don't really use them much. So yeah, we're going to go with the 13 megawatt. That'll make 26 megawatts knockoff. That leaves you with the remaining bonus of 24 megawatts for everything else on the ship. Now, in terms of your mid slots, this is going to be used for PvE instead of PvP. This isn't where it shines the most, so you're going to go with Weber fires. They will slow down your targets and they will make your accuracy fall off a much less of a major issue. You do have quite a good amount of speed at 420. You can take them on quite well, but remember, you are heavier and you are tankier in the armor than in the shield. This is where things get a bit controversial. I won't build a small ship to tank into the armor. You don't have enough leeway on the vessel. A single hit will take out your armor completely, and no matter how much of regeneration you have, you into your hull instantly with that hit. And if they hit you a second time, even if you have a little bit left, you're almost gone. It'll take you at least 20 to 30 hits to break any regular vessel, and considering that your DPS is in the range of about 70, counting it against 1,000, it's really pointless. As I said, it will take you a lot to actually break them. So yeah, you really have those massive figures. Actually, no, not 20, it's about 15 hits. If you take 3 hits, the first hit is your armor basically completely gone. Let's say, for example, you take on a cruiser, one volley into you, your shield is gone, second volley in, your armor is gone, third volley in, you're gone. Because even if you pull up some of your defense for that armor, they're going to hit through the armor, you're going to go down instantly. But if you keep irritating them with the shield, you have your stronger defense which isn't regenerating in the back, and you have the easy regeneration on the front. They hit the easy regeneration, it comes back by the time they fire the second volley, and you just keep taking a smaller chunk out of your armor each time, instead of taking a massive chunk out of armor and trying to recover it over time. Instead of having 1,500 as your defensive or 2,000 as your defensive, you'll end up with half of that as your defensive war, and everything will go straight into your hull very quickly. Going through shield into hull is very dangerous, but yeah, that's how it goes. You also have a fallback point. You know, when you reach half hull, you can always jump out. Okay, so let's go to low slots. Now, obviously, we already know we are 28 megawatts, right? That means 22 megawatts is all that's left, and I'm not even going to go over into the overdrive section of this vessel. I'm going to go straight to the shield booster. Not what you want to do on an armor tank, I know, but yeah, that's going to help you quite a bit. I'm saying B types just for the sake of it. You can always go with the smaller option, 6 watts. That leaves you with 16 megawatts left for your entire vessel, and you're going to go with the afterburner. Now, the reason why I don't go with micro warp drives, in PvE, you always get that disruptor. and a disruptor hitting these small ships is instant death. Most ships actually output a nice size assault of about 3 to 4,000, and if your ship slows, you're going to take that full 3 to 4,000. Instant one hit, you're gone, because you're going to get webbed, you're going to get disrupted. When the disruptor hits you, remember your micro warp drive deactivates, so from that 1,200 you're going to drop all the way to your 500 or whatever. Actually, I'm not sure on that figure. You're going to drop down all the way to about 5 to 600, and when the Webifier hits you, you drop down below the 300 mark. And if you're being energy drained and everything on top of it, there's no chance of you recovering, and taking out another small vessel in the same class as you isn't going to work out for you. You're way too squeezed down. You don't have that ability to keep running in that close quarters with the micro warp drive. That's why I keep saying afterburner. The afterburner means even with that warp disruptor, it isn't slowing you. The Webifier is pulling down some of your speed, but you are overcoming it with your overall velocity. If you went from 1,000 down to 1,500, that means you went from taking 20 damage to taking 50 damage. It is a big difference in damage intake, but it doesn't kill your ship. Now, considering everything that I've said, your rigs are going to go laser acceleration. You're going to increase your speed time and you're going to increase the damage. That's all it's going to go to. You want to apply as much damage as possible, as quickly as possible. That's where your damage or your combat rigs go to. Your engineering is going to go bolt auxiliary thrusters. As I said, that little bit of speed makes a difference. If you can reach that 3,000, you're taking 20 a tick or 25 a tick. If you drop down to 1,500, you're taking 50 a tick. And as you know, the recovery is 115. If you can keep in those ranges of speed, you can take 2 hits, which is about 20 seconds worth of combat, regen, and you can keep firing. And that is giving you a massive edge in combat. Every time they pull down a little bit of your shield, you can pull back up, and you don't have to leave the shield regenerating every single turn back to back. Okay, so that is going to be it for the Crucifier. Catch you all in the next one. Have a good day.